interreligious dialogue again. What was our relationship that we were maintaining all through? Suddenly when something happens to us, if we call, they will show their back to us and they will go. If you have to maintain, it is a tokenism. For example, Christmas comes, you call for interreligious meetings, all the leaders, you honor, and you think you have done everything. You see, the very next day, there's one of the biggest parishes in our diocese. The parish priest, unfortunately, was a sickly man. In fact, after a month, he passed away also. He is no more. It's a VF center. And therefore, he couldn't do. But then, 2,000, 3,000 people could have come to the streets, could have shown our reaction very vehemently. That's why the general or the provincials or whoever it may be should have gone to the street and sat. Bishops let them go and sit and days together, dharna, fasting. So somewhere somebody has to start. You asked, now you put me in trouble actually, because I have to openly talk. That's why sometimes I skip questions, we cannot talk. But then how many of us are prepared for it? So, but then we can't escape. There is only one soul in the entire world who does it, who walks the talk, and that is Pope Francis. And nobody else is prepared to imitate him, emulate him, that example. So we can only pray, and when chance occurs to us, and then we should do it.
Sister, as a professional in the field, you said it correctly. We are in the atmosphere of relativism. It is practical relativism, which is very harmful for us, you said it. And the cultural indifference which I highlighted, the way Pope Francis says it, being close to people, closeness, how God was tender, compassionate and close to people. So this is the paradigm shift we have to bring in locally, and communities are to be empowered for a holistic growth, integral growth, where people understand growth means these days a paradigm that is coming utility, usefulness. If a person is good for production and consumption, is useful, otherwise useless. Women or elderly or children, they are not useful for, so that's the paradigm. Then another is power, money and pleasures. So this is what gives me the greatness. So these are the trends that are coming. Counter model is, as Augustine would say, grow as persons integrally, spiritual growth. So that's what I was highlighting. Community has to grow locally as a community by taking all stakeholders, and locally we need to be strong. And to counter the culture of indifference, being close, as Eugene also has put it, he will contribute to whatever I'm saying. Culture of encounter, rightly you said it, sister. Thank you.
Hello, sister. Thank you for your question. You were speaking about encounter of a culture and how accompaniment helps. There are two things. One is accompanied and the one is accompanier. Now, are you able to shed yourselves of your position, of your prestige and your very self in order to accompany? So does the accompanier feel comfortable while you are accompanying? When you are speaking about an encounter with culture, there have been tragedies in the history of the church because we have not been able to respect somebody else's culture. And we always try to impose our own culture. And when you speak about encounter of culture, all that is in theory. Practically nothing happens. We speak and we have seminars and we simply go away shamelessly without even reflecting. That is the way we are. So, basically, if you have to accompany somebody, you have to shed yourself and be like that person. Will the church be able to do that? The church cannot do that because we are the church. Have I tried to do that? No. Even my seminarians, I am not able to understand them because I have not emptied myself. I am in a different position and they are in a different position and I evaluate them. This is the way things are going on. So where do you speak about an encounter of culture? Everything should be in the books, that's all.
We'll take up the last intervention by Dr. Cosmo and Gabriel Arikiraj. Before that, I think there's a culture of encounter has to be qualified, whether it is a down-pulling encounter or uplifting encounter. So that has to be qualified also for Cosmo.
to Father Stani, you see that the constitutional changes, we are to certain extent to be blamed. Why Gujarat model, Father John was asking, Gujarat model is to be introduced everywhere. In mission schools in 17th and 18th century we started. Bible was a compulsory, it was to be distributed to every student. So everyone has to read the Bible. In the assembly, Bible was read, and in the minor article 29 and 30, which protects the minorities, which says article 29 that minorities can take classes of their religion even in the curricular activities. So this privilege was given by the Constitution. Now the majorities are feeling that when minorities are able to distribute Bibles everywhere, why can't I distribute Bhagavad Gita in the schools? So this is the new concept of Constitution we have to understand in a broader way, I think.
Yes, Father, you said it, that is